So I am just on the BJJ Fanatics website, and what's amazing is now we've already talked about Gravity is Your Friend, but there are 2 other instructionals that you might want to talk about.
Recently, I had the opportunity to work with BJJ Fanatics guy, and now we have 3 instructionals out there. We have Escapes Engineered for guys over 40. If you're 40 or more, hey, dig into it. Gravity's Your Friend, sit-up sweeps. Been there for some time, and it's really, really getting a lot of attention. And then we have the Smash the Knee Folding Pass. Now, that's one of my favorites. So if you haven't looked at them, take a look. BJJFanatics.com.
Hey, I'm wondering, do you have a place where we could go to ask all those questions that always come up in jiu-jitsu?
You are lucky. You are very, very lucky. Ask a Black Belt on all podcast platforms, plus our YouTube channel. What I do is essentially I collect questions that you might have and the questions that I've had for all this time being on the mat and record them as a short individual episodes, about 3-4 minutes long, and just put them out there several times a week. So make sure you go, you follow, and tune in.
Yeah, absolutely. Check it out. Subscribe, download, all that stuff, and get those answers to the questions you've always wanted to ask.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
There we go.
Oh my God, you are struggling here. You
That's
take
'cause I missed.
You take a week off. You take a week off from recording, and you almost forget to press the button to
I
record.
did not almost forget.
You almost forgot.
I did not.
You didn't forget, but you almost forgot, and then you forgot to press it off to stop recording.
I like to keep it going after because we always like give us names of references and stuff, and if I will forget who did he say, I can reference back.
The way I see it is struggling.
No, I'm not struggling.
That's new.
Yep, for once, I'm not struggling. So,
shout out to Margaret, by the way. How was that sandwich?
I haven't eaten it yet. She brought me lunch. She's amazing, right? I think it's she had a nice Mother's Day, and that's why I'm sure if this was later in, Mother's Day was yesterday. She had a nice Mother's Day. If I would have asked her to bring me coffee, I didn't ask for the sandwich. It was wonderful. If I would have asked her 3-4 days from now, she'd probably be like, not going to happen. But because Mother's Day is so fresh in her mind and she had such a nice one, I got lunch today and coffee. And you've kept me here talking so much that I haven't had a chance to eat it. And I might not, looking at the clock. But it was wonderful, and thank you so much. And thanks for putting up with me.
Right.
That's to Margaret, not to you.
All right.
Because she's got a lot to put up with.
Well, now we can wrap up this episode.
We can.
Man.
It's only been a minute and a half. We can move on to what we're really supposed to be talking about, which I think is an important lesson for us here at Jiu-Jitsu. And, Felipe Costa talked about, like, it wasn't winning that made Jiu-Jitsu, him love Jiu-Jitsu. It was the process. It was everything that led up to the tournament. And if he didn't win, that's all right, because he loves everything else, And I think that that's a big problem here. We're not, I don't compete, and, we don't have a lot of competitors around, but even open mat is a competition for a lot of people. And when bad things, or things don't go their way, I should say, people get upset. And I think that's why a lot of people drop off, because they don't love everything that leads up to that open mat, Worst thing what drives me crazy? This drives me absolutely insane.
Please tell me. I
Is
can't wait for this.
When somebody gets a second stripe on their white belt and they can now go to open mat and they stop going to classes, I can tell that person is going to quit jiu-jitsu. They will not get their blue belt. If they do get their blue belt, they're going to quit shortly after that. When they stop going to classes and only care about open mat, you know why? Because there is no process. And then they come to open mat and they get their butts handed to them by everybody. And it's no fun anymore. They don't love anything else. They don't love jiu-jitsu. They think they love, getting that submission. Or now, now they don't need to do all that other stuff because they can role, they can compete. So any of you people out there that are about to get your second stripe or just got it and you're thinking about ditching classes for open mat, don't do it. Do not do it. You'll quit. That's all.
There it is.
There it is.
All right. So for second time, we can wrap up the show.
Yep, wrap it up early. Look at that. You get 2 gems in 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Do you think that wisdom translates into real life?
Yeah, all those cliches, nothing comes easy. If it's worth doing, it's, I don't know what the second one I was trying to come up with was, but it's like, if anything worth doing is going to be hard, it's not going to be easy. So you have to enjoy the journey, right? There's another one. It's not about, the destination. It's about the journey.
Yeah.
And I think if you put too much emphasis on the destination, you're going to miss all that stuff along the way. It's just it's not going to matter. You're not going to see it. You're going to miss out on a lot of enjoyment.
Yeah. No, but that's the hard part, right? Because the work leading up to the point of success, to the milestone, to the goal, whatever it is, it's hard. There's a lot of grind. There's a lot of obstacles, a lot of points of, we don't want to do this anymore. We often question ourselves. Is this worth it?
Failure,
We could be, quoting Professor Cruz, so we could be sitting on the couch with a pizza and beer in hand, right? So that's the hard part behind it, right? So how do you embrace the grind? How do you embrace the process? How do you make this unpleasant thing as a point of motivation?
Well, I don't embrace the suck, as they say. I know it's going to suck. I don't embrace that part. I embrace those little victories along the way. I've talked about that a few times, where it's like, all those you just escaped side control. Man, that's fantastic. That's amazing. You should be so happy about that. Yeah, you got tapped out 30 seconds later. So what? You got out of somebody's side control. You got somebody off of you that was in mount. That's amazing. Enjoy that. Love that. All those little things, you got tapped 6 times yesterday. You got tapped 5 times today. Enjoy that. Love that aspect of it, because it means you're getting better. And that's the process. Is every little bit of improvement is the process. Every little setback is the process. What do you get out of that setback? And so those are the things that I look at when I look at the process and embracing the different aspects of it.
Well, there's one more thing that Felipe Costa said, that result is a consequence, of the work that you have done. And if you look at it from that perspective, it really puts a slightly different angle on the topic, on the mindset, really on the work that we need to do. If the result is a consequence and we don't embrace the work, then the result will be mediocre.
Yeah, or it'll be anticlimactic. Even if you get the result you want, you're probably not going to be that happy with it. You're not going to look back and say, "Man, I put in all that time and all that effort."
Well,
and,
is that why they say the success is so sweet, because you had to break sweat for it?
Maybe. I've never heard them say that, but sure.
That's probably translation from like a different language.
Yeah. Say it in Polish and maybe somebody can translate it better for us.
Speaking of Polish, did you hear what he said?
Jeez, I was hoping this wasn't going to come up.
Did you hear what he said about Polish people?
He said they were stubborn. That's what I got out of it.
Tough.
Stubborn.
Tough.
Stubborn is what he said.
No, there was no stubborn even used one time.
No. Well, and you're right. And I think that, so why is that, right? He was talking about their jiu-jitsu, their mentality in jiu-jitsu. And I think it's because there's hardships along the way and they're used to dealing with those hardships. And then, the success is sweeter.
But on a serious note, I think there is something really important behind this and really tangible. Like, as I was listening to him talking about all this and, disregard the comments about Polacks and all that, we are awesome, but, the culture that we are brought up in, and I'm not talking about childhood only. I'm talking about our life, right? As we develop, create the way how we process information, right? So, for instance, if you're really good with math, you very likely you're actually going to enjoy jiu-jitsu because there is problem solving. If you're an engineer and we're brought up around engineers and you had to troubleshoot and build things all the time, whether as a child or as an adult, you will likely enjoy jiu-jitsu. You know, if you went through hardships in your life, and again, I'm not trying to categorize people, but I was trying to find the anchor points, you know, why some individuals go through jiu-jitsu journey and why some don't. And Felipe even talked about this. In Brazil, most of teenagers come to this pivot point in which they have to decide. If you are from the upper class or middle and upper class, you will have to decide whether you go into university or not. And that's being pressured by the parents, right? So that tells me that the cultural peer pressure, if you will, of being successful and going to the school, getting smarter about it, and all so on, is very present. Now, if those opportunities don't exist, if you don't have money to go to the school, now that choice is just gone by default. Right. And your life is not as easy. This is where the hardship comes in. And some of these guys really come to the point of success because of the hard work they had to do. And I'm not saying if you have money, your life is easier. Well, probably it is. But in some ways, right? You have other opportunities. Yeah. Right? And again, I say this all the time. Life is not simple. It's not easy. It shouldn't be. And you shouldn't look at it as easy, right? We all have different obstacles, and some of us have it.
Well, yeah, and when he was talking about that, it kind of so in Brazil and I think here too in this country, when you have limited opportunities, you have to make the best of what you have.
Yeah.
Right. So I always when people are like, well, that person came from, a horrible neighborhood and a horrible backstory, and look at how successful they are. Why can't everybody do that? Mm-hmm. Well, that's somebody who found something that they could take advantage of and an opportunity that they could take advantage of. A lot of those other people in that situation never get that, never see that, whether it's because somebody's put a wall up in front of them or they've done it themselves. It doesn't matter. So, you have to make the best of those opportunities. And I feel like oftentimes people don't see that. They don't see that both sides of that. Like you just said, the rich, I shouldn't say rich, but middle class people who have finances available to do other things, they go and find that. The other people don't have that. So they've got to make the best of their situation.
What they have. Yeah.
Yeah. And, so how does that, translate into what we do here? I think you just got to figure it out and take those advantages, those opportunities you have, and make the best of them, and make the best of that getting tapped out 5 times instead of 6. Hey, there's guys that used to literally just ruin me. And now if I get through the round without getting tapped, I'm like, yep, stand up. I got a pep in my step. Yeah. It's
chest pumped up.
Did I tap them? No. Did I pass their guard? Maybe. Did I get to some decent positions? Yes. Take that away. Those are beautiful, wonderful, tangible things that you can go home and think about, and then think about why, and you can make it better. And those are the things I think you need to embrace.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Cool. We're not done, are we?
Yeah.
It's only been 12 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
What should we
just
talk
dropping
about?
Knowledge. Every 3 minutes, you get this nugget. It's beautiful.
Wow. I feel like I should take a day off so you can record it by yourself.
One of them was yours. You said something smart in there somewhere, I'm sure.
Let's make it a show. Let's wrap this up while we're on the upper hand.
Yeah, I don't even remember where we started. We've been talking so much today.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.